I have to say Happy Mother's Day to my mother up in heaven. I love you. God bless.
My name is Michael Franklin. I just wanted to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, and Happy Heavenly Mother's Day to those who have transitioned. I lost my mother January 22nd, 2022, and I can truly say I carry her spirit with me every day, and I truly miss her. So those of you that have your mothers, love them while they're here. God bless.
How y'all doing out there? Today is Mother's Day. I want everybody to try to sit back and acknowledge and recognize this day right here is the day that someone special in our lives made us who we are today. So I want to send a special Mother's Day wish out to my moms. Her name is Dorothy Pierce. She passed away June 30th, 1993. I want to also send a special Mother's Day wish out to my wife, Mary Rivera. I love y'all. God bless y'all.
Bless God, I'm Michael D'Angelo, grade 7, the prophet. All praise be unto God. Happy Mother's Day to all mothers, those that have their mothers and those that have lost. I lost my mother July the 28th, 2024. She's still with me because I exist in God. Eternal life is everything. But love your mother now and respect them. All mothers should be respected. Every day should be Mother's Day. Again, Michael D'Angelo, grade 7, the prophet. Bless God forever.
I want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the wonderful mothers out there. Big shout out to my queen, Carmen Jones Speller. Thank you for always being a warrior and a fighter for our children. Happy Mother's Day to my daughter, Camry Speller, my 4 sisters, all my cousins, my aunts, my friends, my mother-in-law. Happy Mother's Day, ladies. Now, to all you ungrateful children out there that say you don't have a great relationship with your moms, you need to fix that, because you only get one. This month makes 20 years my mom passed away. All I have left for her is a few pictures. It's getting to the point where I'm starting to forget what she even sounds like. I got kids and grandkids that she never got a chance to meet, and I wish she had the opportunity to. If there's one thing I wish I could have for Mother's Day, is to have her back. So, all that childhood trauma you say you have, you need to let that stuff go. Fix that relationship with your mom, because you only get one.
Get on my damn nerves. And I love it. The BDP podcast.
More hand claps here. Sometimes the internet be tripping. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is. This is an important time right now. I am your host of my new podcast, the BDP podcast, which is Brothers from a Different Planet podcast. More hand claps. And before I go into this, I got to let you know this podcast is powered by Navy Federal. I got to get it on. Navy Federal, a credit union that's for military families here in the Hampton Roads, Virginia, and they are supporting military and their family members. Clap it up for Navy Federal. For Navy Federal, Navy Federal, Navy Federal. This is a time where mothers are honored, right? And with this special edition, I got some folks that are near and dear to my heart. When I say near and dear, I'm talking about 30, 40 plus years of brotherhood. Now, look, you know my motto, man. I love my bros, but I don't always agree with them. But right now, we're going to take a pause for the fighting and the tussling, because it's important that we honor our queens, which is something with our mothers. It's like a separate lane. And I had the pleasure to write a book called Once Upon a Time in the Projects. And one of the guests that I'm going to bring on, I'm trying not to get emotional on this, lived next door to me for so long. We were kids growing up, where his house was the safe house, where his mother made sure I ate, and his father showed us the street life, the hustling. And there's another brother on here who father and my father were friends. They worked, they doing construction, laying cement in the whole nine, right? I can go in their basement all night. His father cooked me breakfast. His mother would say, Big T, come upstairs and eat. I heard you downstairs. And there's another brother up here that always supported me on my mission when I was doing my song, Living in the Projects. I'm going to bring these brothers in, and we're going to get into a discussion about mothers, the mothers of today, the mothers of the past,
what's going on?
the mothers of the future. I don't care. I'm going to bring these brothers in. I want y'all to put your hands together for my bros from a different planet. Clap it up, 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 clap it up. Wait for Sonny Red to pop up, poop pop. What's up, family members? What's up, Educator? What's up, Sonny Red? What's up, Boohkadeen?
How you doing, my brother?
No, my brother. Peace to the God. Peace to the God.
Peace to the G.
Always love.
Always love.
How you?
No doubt. No doubt.
I thank you guys for taking your time out of your schedule to hang out with me. You got one guy that's a parent. You can hardly get him on the phone. If he ain't in Tokyo, he's at a tennis match. He's at doing modeling for his daughters. He's doing all that. Like his brother Sonny Black is mad right now. He's steaming. How you get him on the phone? You gotta be the ninth. You gotta be the third, baby. You can't get him on the phone. I always get Educator on the phone every April, his born day. You know, I get him on the phone. But Boohkadeen, I'm seeing him doing TikTok, representing, going viral, was showing off.
Oh, yeah.
He's showing off British walkers and Swedish nicks and all of that stuff, right?
You know how we do it. You know how we do it.
I gotta get me a pair of them British walkers, man.
All right. I'm gonna hook you up with the name and number, yo. I'm gonna hook you up with the name and number. If you call them up, just tell them Boohkadeen sent you.
Okay.
I just got two pair of wallabies. I just got
wallabies
two
too,
pair of wallabies on the low.
Have y'all seen the Met Gala? Are y'all watching that? Red, you seen the Met Gala?
I saw some clipping, highlights. It's real.
Okay. Ed, you be into that Met Gala?
I haven't seen it. My son, he's trying to put up a fashion little clothing line. So you know what I mean. I might have to get into it to see it. You know.
Yeah, it's a lot of.
Boohkadeen, have you seen it?
I haven't.
They
represented Black culture in this one, man. I love it.
Okay.
Right, the Black culture, the young kids, they you know, they're thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
A lot of these things together. That's, you know, look at what's the clothing line? White, what is it? White, off-white. Those lines coming from brothers, you know what I'm saying? That's setting the trends. You know, you got Pharrell out there running the show.
Yeah.
He's Rocky out there.
Right.
So that Met Gala is like the foundation to get the kids started in that industry. So it's a good thing.
Yeah, I'm loving it, man. And the crazy thing, I asked that question is because all three of you guys, I've watched two out of the three grow up with me and always have been about fashion. And I don't know, Educator, for your son to even be involved with it. He just don't even know, do he? He don't even know.
No, he see all the pictures from back in the days. He already know his dad. He know how I get down.
Okay, your dad, like, you know what I mean? And they don't understand how that is already embedded in them. In Boohkadeen, I'm loving what you're doing. Listen, before I get to questions of this topic is if my mother could see me now, I want to know how comfortable y'all are with talking about this evening, and as we push this podcast episode to different levels. Are y'all good with it?
I'm
Of
good.
course,
yeah.
anything to praise my mother and the women that they molded me. You see what I'm saying? Because I was able to see, I was blessed to see motherhood at its finest, from my mother to my kids' mothers. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Everybody's good?
I'm good, Creed.
Yeah.
No doubt. And I just say that, man, because my mom's is still amongst the living. By the way, Educator, my mother said, put him on, give me his phone number. I said, man,
Tell mom I said hi, man.
not a none of that. Rest in peace to grandma, Educator. You know, grandmother used to come and grab you. I used to be sad, puppy, when you were little, and I'd be like, yo, take me too, grandma. Take me with you too. And rest in peace to you guys, mother. My first question is, and this can go in any order. Sonny Red, you can go first. If your mother can see you now, what would she say? What would she say to you, fam?
Well, you know, just to top it off, she's gonna be like, "Don't having these kids late in life." You know what I mean? But things happen. You know what I'm saying? I met my wife, met the mother, my wife, late. You know, after having my first two. You know, when I, you know, had a, you know, my oldest is 33, 26-year-old. I have, you know, two little ones running around here, 13 and 9. Soon to be 14 and 10. So meeting my wife in the fashion industry in New York, you know, she's Japanese, no kids. You know, we looked at each other, said, hey, let's have kids. So one of the things my mother would say is, hey, you know, you're a little old to be having kids, and you know, but now I'm seeing them growing. You know, both of the girls are modeling, both of them are playing tennis. You know, I'm out there back in the gym, staying fit, trying to keep up with them, because that you know, it ain't easy. Bad one, roll right back. You know what I mean? I'm ripping and running. So she would definitely be like, you know, you waited a little long. You know, you could have paused that, but you know, it is what it is. But she would be happy to see that.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I'm instilling what she to them. You know, stay busy, keep moving, get that education. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's easy to just sit around and not do nothing, but you know, keep pushing them, keep your foot on them, keep them out there active. So I think she probably, you know, have some words for me, but I think a lot of positive words. You know, she'll see that what her teaching me. Oh, yeah.
No doubt. So you like Joe Jackson and Serena and Venus Williams dad out there. You got Joe Jackson here, and you got okay. Get over there and swing that tennis racket. You like this? Get over there, Michael. Like you all of that, right? Are you installing that?
Well, you know what it is a lot of times, especially these kids now, you kind of got to show them. You could, because you know they smart kids now. You know they got the internet. We ain't have all the components they now. We educator, you know, we ain't had none of that. We ain't had none of that. Computers, cell phones, headphones, able to log in. What I do is I use that to my benefit. I'll shoot my daughter a video quick. Yo, look how he's swinging that racket. Look at the position he in when he's connecting. You know what I'm saying? Or just record, then take recordings and show them. Just tell me what you did wrong in that video, or what can you improve in. But then at the same time, get out there with the coach. You know what I'm saying? Get out there. Might hurt my back, might twist my ankle. You know what I'm saying? But you know, that's just the process of showing them and not just telling them. So yeah, you know, I ain't on the Serena and Venus dad, that, but you know, it's just enough to show them that, you know, I'm not just pushing them out there. And then also, Creed, telling them the benefits of it. You know what I'm saying? The benefits of it, being able, if you get this down, you can be smart as you want. But in this world, you got to have more options than just smarts. You got to be able to say, "Oh yeah, I'm smart. I'm good at math, but I could swing the shit out of a tennis racket." Excuse my language. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got to be able to have those different
versatilities.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I model. Also, yeah, I've done a lot of Jordan shoots, Nike shoots, you know, Gap, this, that, and the third. So I'm throwing them out there as much as, they look at me pissed off half of the time, but I tell them, give it some time. Give it some time when you're able to have those options to leave this country and go anywhere you want to in life. Give it a little time. All that stuff or
Stay on them because we can see the end game. You see what I mean? See, we can see further than that because we've been there already. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Some
people are caught in a paradigm. So whereas if they caught in a paradigm, they can't see nothing other than what they see around them. So if you give them that I have the insight, I have the end goal for you, it'll go further. You know what I mean? And I gotta hook you up with my cousin, man. My cousin named Quentin Smith. I got a lot of things in common. His name is Quentin Smith. He also has a Japanese girl he's been with for about 20-something years, bro. He started his clothesline. He started his clothesline in Japan, and he used to design for Wu-Tang, God Body, Echo, all the people back in the days. You know what I mean? He's still doing this thing. I'm gonna hook you up with him.
That's a good thing because I was telling Cree recently. My whole goal is everything. When I go out there, my whole goal is all corners: music, fashion. I got jokers out there, and, waiting for me to make certain moves. You know what I mean? So that's a beautiful.
I love it.
People don't understand culture out there, man. They mimic everything we do.
Yes,
they mimic
indeed.
Indeed. I hear jokers be like, "Yeah, the Japanese don't like." I'm like, "Bro, you ain't educated. You ain't educated. That's what they want you to believe out here." My daughters out there. Yeah, my daughters go out there. They princesses, man. They stopping cars, trying to talk, trying to find out where we from, where we going, the whole nine. So our culture, music, fashion, skin color, big out there. Big.
So your mother would definitely be proud of you, man. From 30s First, from Pearl Street to Tokyo. I know she's super proud. Boohkadeen, if your mother was right in front of you, you know what I'm saying, and if she can look at you now, what would she say?
Well, me doing this fashion thing on TikTok, she would definitely inspire me to keep it pushing because she know how I am when it comes to throwing that thing on. And, she would definitely let me know that's my calling. She'll tell me straight up, that's your calling. That's what you need to do. So she'll definitely be proud of me, man, looking at my videos. I would have to teach her how to share them, but she'll definitely be sharing and be in my corner 110%, pushing me, edging me on, making sure I'm staying straight and narrow in this field I'm getting into. So my mom would definitely be in my corner like she always been. I remember it was times like when I was a kid. I mean, a kid, not even a teenager. Back in the day when we used to play street ball, softball, we had teams and stuff like that. My mom used to come to the games. You understand what I'm saying? And support. If we playing basketball in the street, my mom would come and watch, take pictures and everything. So she was that type of mom that would definitely support whatever you doing. As long as this is what you want to do, she's like, I got your back. So that was Mom Duke. You know what I'm saying? Mom Duke all the way. She would definitely be tipping her hat off to me, let me know she proud of me and edging me on to do what I'm doing. And good luck to me.
Yes, good luck. Hand claps for that. Hand claps for the moms cheering you on and all of that stuff.
No doubt. Wrap it up for Mom Duke.
Yes, indeed. Yo, Ellerbee, I'm gonna let you go right now, right? Because if your mother was right in front of you and she saw the picture of your life right now, and even from your grandmother, what would they say right now about how you turned out? What would they say if they was in front of you?
Well, for one, they're gonna be proud of me. You know what I mean? Because everything they instilled in me, I still carry to the day. My mother, you know my mother personally, so you already know. My mother she had my back in everything that I did. I don't care what it was. I grew up really an only child. I grew up fatherless, you know what I mean, due to the person my father was. So my mother was my mother and my father. As many times kids chased me into the house, 3 or 4 kids, you know what I mean, chased me into the house. My mother like, all right, come on, let's go back out there and handle it. You know what I mean? my mother was a fighter. You know what I mean? My mother would take me back out there. You gonna fight each one of them. You know what I mean? So my mother instilled everything in me. She was really a single parent that held me down. Worked 2 and 3 jobs all her life till the day she could no more. You know what I mean? And you know, she kept me fly. She worked at Jacobs. You know what I'm saying? If anybody don't know, Jacobs had everything. It was Lee's, Sergio DeVinci, you know what I mean? Calvin Klein, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it was, I had silk shirts, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I had everything in the world. So mom's always kept me dick, man. So that's where I got the facts for her and my father. My father, you know, he was cold pimp, you know. So mom's was everything in the world, man. And I appreciate that she was so strong. See, my mother wasn't the type of person, she wasn't the type of woman that'd be like, well, I'm gonna take you to child support, this, that, and other. She was the type of person, if you don't have enough money, go get another job. You know what I mean? Because these kids got to be raised properly.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I didn't have so many kids. Because my mother said, if you can't afford them, don't have them. You know what I mean? And it takes a lot. It takes a lot to have these kids right now. You know what I'm saying?
Older we get.
Yeah, because you know, I was fortunate to have a mother and a grandmother that was so strong. You know what I mean? I had strong women, even to my great grandmother. I had strong women in my life to look up to and admire. The men in the family is a different story, but you know, the women in the family were strong backbones for the men. You know what I mean? So they was doing the raising, you know, and they instilled a lot of me. You know, my mother was she was the type of person that would be like, I did what I did for you, and I instilled this in you. Now you pass it on. Because it's been times like she was a great grandmother. She'll give presents and give gifts and everything. But she would say, hey, listen, I don't got to buy him nothing. You do for him like I did for you. And you know what? All I can say is say less. And they had everything in the world.
Peace.
Indeed. Clap it up for Mrs. That's my
Yeah.
I tell you, she had brothers that grew up in the projects. They were like her brothers, and half of them was street guys. You got Arthur Law. Like it was just a buffet of different variety of people that looked out for Miss Gigi, because they knew she's going to either walk to work, get on a bus to go to Jacobs on Route 4, and we all looked out for her. And she was
Jacobs
like
downtown, baby.
Downtown.
Remember, Jacobs was next to Woolworth.
Yeah, right on the corner.
I'm
right
thinking
on the corner. Yes, sir.
That's right.
And look, Woolworth, they had the coffee and Danish and
yeah.
They had good food at Woolworths. You could smell Woolworth as soon as you open that door.
Yeah.
That was a good old days, man. You can't walk in the department store today and smell food, buy food, or none of that. They got this stuff you got to throw in the microwave or something, man.
Yep.
Woolworth back in the day,
good stores and stuff like that. Hey, Sonny Red, I'm gonna toggle over to you, right? Because you got a house full of sisters. You got a lot of sisters. I know you got some sisters that are mothers. So when you're looking at your sisters, right, who are mothers, what, by looking at them, and I don't want you to just not personalize it so much. As mothers, when you look at your sisters, how do you look at parenting in motherhood? Do you look at them and compare them to your wife? Like how's that process? Because you got Nancy, you got Pat, you got Bay, you know what I mean? Like Darlene, like you have sisters that are parents. So when you look at your wife, do you see anything that you can look at your wife and say, man, I don't know how that is. I know it's different culture, but what's your take on parents of today and then of the past?
Well, you know, it's good question. Good question. But what I would say is I feel like, especially with my wife, we had these two we have now late in life. She was in her late 30s. I'm in my 40s. She had no idea how to do a lot of things. But with me, having 3 sisters who had kids, they had kids, started having kids before me. and seeing and me being there when, you know, the Nancy Pat running, hey, can you watch the kids? And me getting that knowledge early on how to sit with kids, how to nourish them, feed them, change. You know, sometimes, you know, they would get on my nerves, but you got to have some self-control with kids because they're just kids. They're innocent. So a lot of those things, you know, I was fortunate to know when we had our kids, you know, and show my wife. But then a lot of things, what I realized is as a mother, it kicked in naturally. You know, a lot of things kicked in naturally with her. And she wound up teaching me things that I was like, oh shit, you know, like, you know, I didn't bear the kids, you know what I'm saying? So automatically it was things that she picked up on that I was just like, wow, you know what I mean? So there was a lot of similarities there, even though the time frame, like you said, the time frame was, you know, Nancy, you know, she's 60 now, you know, when she had her kids, you know, that was a long time ago to now, you know what I'm saying? But there is a lot of things that I noticed that was very similar, that if you know that I can remember that was very similar. So when it would happen, I would tell my wife, you know what, I think what you're doing is the correct thing. I'll do a little research, call Pat and go, hey, this is occurring. Boom, what do you think? And she go, oh, she's good. She's good. Everything you just told me, explained to me that she did was proper. You know what I'm saying? So again, a lot of the things I think with the mothers is natural. It came natural. So I was able to see that. But then when she needed that extra, you know, I'll go, hey, she got this infection. This is what my mother used to use. This is what my sister used to use. Put that on it. Because another thing, our medicine and the Japanese medicine is totally different. So a lot of she's scrambling, trying to figure out how to handle situations. We don't have that medicine here, but this is what we. And then I try to keep it as righteous as possible and not use so much of this because we came up from what
modern day
remedies, natural remedies. You know what I'm saying? We ain't always running to the pharmacy and always, you know, my mother would do this. You know, you got to stuff your nose. We'll fill that sink up with hot water, throw some Vicks in it, put the kid head down, cover it up, let them inhale that. So we did those things. And funny thing, I mentioned that she would say, hey, we did that in Japan. Or my mother used to do it a little bit different, a little twist to it. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of the things wind up coincide. Very similar. Very similar. I was glad that, you know, it would be she would be like, you think you know it all? You know, wow, you think you know it all? You know, and I'd be like, listen, you know, I do have 2 older kids. So I came down the road, you know, for you. But, you know, again, she was always the type that, you know, she'll take it in and she would apply it to her growing up and what she learned. And again, a lot of similarities between my sisters and how she handled, you know, and then I see it in the kids. I see it in the kids. Their mannerisms, the way they act is just like Nancy and Pat.
That's awesome.
And
Educator, you being the only child, right?
Yeah.
And I grew up around you. So let's jump into Pop, Dad coming home, Mother installing so much in you. And when Dad came into to us when we were little, because there's a lot of things that Dad did, showed us, and we were like, oh wow, holding guns, all that stuff, right? Do you think the challenge that you have as a parent and with your wife, do you have any of the conflict? Because your mother did it by herself for a minute. When Dad came home, you know, she never closed the door on Mr. Robinson. She on your pops, never. This is one thing where I'm going to bring at the closing of the question of the day's mother versus the mothers of the past. I know your mother never even sweated. She your mother loved her. Like it was just, she ain't sweated. She gonna grind no matter what. But when your dad stepped on the scene and she saw you lean into your dad, she never stopped that. Nothing like that. Do you see anything that like a conflict in your house with your wife and your you know, and you, how you show your kids stuff versus your mother, being the wife, which is the mother of the children in the house? How was that growing up? I'm trying to find a question to say, how did you manage to overcome that challenge? Because Miss Gigi showing you stuff, and your father, Mr. Harry, the pimp, showing you stuff.
Showing me totally opposite spectrums. Yeah. And what it was my mother was grounded. My mother was grounded with everything that you're supposed to teach a child. My father was a wild card because of how he was raised and where he comes from and being in prison all his life and back and forth. So he still was in the game. You know what I mean? He still was the streets. So I had the opportunity to learn both sides. You know what I mean? And my mother kept me grounded. Regardless to what my father showed me, my mother kept me grounded to where the positive of life. My father showed me the negative, but he showed me the negative so I wouldn't fall victim to it. And he wasn't here long. My pops came home in 1980. He got shot 7 times in our projects in 1981. You know what I mean? So that year that he had with us, it might seem long, but it was a short period of time. It wasn't a big influence, but it was an influence because of his name. His name carried way longer than he did. My father passed away at 28 years old. I'm 55. I never thought I'd get there after 28. You know what I mean? So
same here.
In my households, like I said, I was blessed to see motherhood at its finest, from my mother to my 2 kids' mothers. You know what I mean? So unfortunately, my first son passed away at 18. He had 10 scholarships for football at college when he passed away with a car accident. You know what I mean? His mother was one of the finest women and one of the finest mothers I know. You know what I mean? Because everything was about the child. Nothing about nothing else. I had her at times, bro, because, me coming in and out of prison myself, I had her at times would pay for tickets. Say, listen, your son loves wrestling. Here go 2 tickets. Make sure you take them. You see what I'm saying? Because she wanted to make sure that his father was in his life and his father was there with him. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, I didn't take heed to that because I was like my father still. I was running the streets, coming in and out of prison. You know what I mean? And my first son taught me how to be a father to my second son.
Wow.
If that makes sense.
Makes sense.
You know what I mean? So my second son is blessed to have my full attention. You know what I mean? From birth, when he came out the womb, I had him in my arms, and I'm still holding him. He's 23 years old. He'll be 24 this month, but I'm still holding him. He has a child that'll be 3 years old in July, and I'm raising both of them. You know what I mean? I never take my hands off him. I don't care if I live to be 70 and he 50, I'm still gonna have my hands on him because that's what it takes.
Hey, Edge, remember when your father used to kiss you on your cheek? Like, I used to look at that like your father used to kiss you, hug me. Big T, come here. Make sure you look after your brother. You bigger than everybody. Kiss me. Like, I used to wonder why Harry used to kiss us, man. It was like the thing about love and compassion amongst men that we don't know. And when you saying you doing that deal,
we're missing that.
It comes from my grandmother. It comes from my grandmother. My grandmother did that to him. He did it to me. I mean, a lot of these kids today will be better off if they just had a hug, bro.
That's right, man. Bro.
Yeah,
I used to kiss my father right on the cheek. No big deal.
Right.
All love.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I said, my son, he's 6 foot something. He looked down on me. Both my kids was taller than me. Both of them would kiss me on the how you doing, Dad? Like I was the kid, you know what I mean? But that's the dynamic that we have. You know what I'm saying? So he can say anything to me, I can say anything to him. The only thing, we have one rule: never lie to me. Never lie to me.
That was my father.
Anybody else you lie to, never lie to me. You know what I mean? I never had to spank my child, neither one of them. You know, his mother, my son's mother is so incredible because she had the upbringing where as if she's the oldest of the family. You know what I mean? Carmen Rivera, a very sweet woman. She was the mother to all her kids, to all her brothers and sisters. She had there was 7 of them, and she was the mother to all of them. You know what I mean? So when she became a mother, it was at ease. You know what I mean? She already knew how to pamper and take care of, mold, give knowledge, give nutrients, you know what I mean? Everything she already had that instilled in her. So to watch her and my child's relationship is remarkable. It's a mimic and a mirror of my childhood coming up,
Wow. Boohkadeen, let me ask you, I don't know if we even got into that, man. You have any children?
Yeah, I got 3 kids.
3 kids.
Two
Right, so
of them grown when I'm 13.
13, grown 13. We're going to get into this. If you had to put your baby mamas on his side, I'm going to just try to get for the sake of the camera, on this side, and then your mother on this side. I know this is a separate thing, man. We may not even like to have this conversation. We may go to the up the hill, down the hill battle. But
Right.
If on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, how close would you say your baby mother, baby mamas, I don't care what it is. We don't got to get into that. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rank the mamas? Is it 1 mother, 2 mother? Let's get there before I can know so we can get
3.
the content of 3. All right, same like me. I ain't judging you, brother. Same like me.
Nah, it's all good.
It's all good. On a scale of 1 to 10, where do you rank the baby mamas to your mother, Pressley? Where do you rank? What's the ranking?
I can't rank that. It ain't no contest. It ain't no close ruling. Nah. Mom Duke at the finish line. They at the start line. You can't even compare that. Not even close. I couldn't do it. Apples and oranges, B. As far as I'm concerned, my mom made a lot more sense growing up. She had a lot more up here growing up. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not trying to downplay nobody. I'm just keeping it real, like you said before this podcast started. Keep it real. But that's real to me. You know what I'm saying? Apples and oranges, man. I can't even begin to front like, oh yeah, my baby mom's is this and that. Good peoples, but they can't match Mom Duke. Because if they was put in a situation that my mom was put in, she raised 6 of us. And my mom was smart. My mom was intelligent. My mom was street. My mom was sharp. She was, you could just take it all into one, ball it up, and that'd be my mom and shit, yo. I think my kids' mothers is some good peoples, like no doubt, good peoples. But I gotta hold my mom to a higher standard when it comes to comparing, somebody of our era versus somebody in her era. Like take for instance, right? I know back in the day, the women, like let's say growing up in Mom Duke era, the women, if they was on welfare, they got on welfare, but they had a strategy. They went to school. Exactly. You understand what I'm saying? My mom was on welfare. She went to school. She had straight A's. She knew what she had to do, and she did it.
Yeah.
Women growing up in our era, see, Mom Duke was smart enough to know they're going to get rid of this program one day. That's why they call it welfare, because one day they're going to say farewell. See, the women of our era, they just wanted to have another kid to get a bigger check and another kid to get a bigger check and another kid to get a bigger check. That's not the route to go. Because what's going to happen when that last one turned 18? See, this was the mentality of the women in our era versus the women in my mom era. It was a different mentality back then. So for that alone, I can't make that comparison, man.
Yeah, the struggle is different. It's more. It's a respect that I definitely.
No doubt.
And my mother come, you 6 kids and then 6 other people's kids. You know what I
Well,
mean?
they had to grow up faster. They had to grow up faster in that era. You know what I mean? They took more responsibility. You know what I mean? Like I said, I was fortunate to have two baby mothers that were very awesome, incredible, extraordinary. You know what I mean? That compared to my mother, because they put the child first and they did things in life to advance the child as well as themselves. You know what I mean? So I can understand what you're saying, brother, about being on welfare. My mother was 15 when she got pregnant when she was 16 when she had me. So I grew up with my mother. My mother took welfare for a year or two, moved to the projects, got her own job, got another job if she needed to, but she provided everything in the household that we needed. You know what I mean? So everything that I needed, like you said, we didn't have the computers and stuff back in the days. I had a 2XL. You know what I mean? I had a 2XL to give you information. You know what I mean? But anything that I needed, anything that I longed for, my mother provided.
And community, community is now. And when I say that for the simple reason that other mothers would handle you before you ever got home.
Exactly.
Indeed.
Other mothers would hear what happened, and you would get it on your way home.
That's the community raising.
Exactly. Indeed. Now you're not gonna see that. They don't understand that. They may remember it, but they don't understand it. They don't bring that to the table. Something would happen from school 20, and I got home, I would hear it or wear it to the point where I'm like, man, I just ran into sincere mother. I just ran into, so-and-so mother. Must you get me too? Must I?
Of course.
Go in the back.
You're getting at least 3 of them.
Yeah, go in the backyard, get that for me.
But you know, me and Prince C was fortunate to have a big community, a vast community. Whereas if that when with me growing up without a father and no brothers and sisters, my mother made sure that I had a male figure in my life. My mother always made sure I had a male figure in my life. She'll pull somebody to the side and say, "Hey, I need you to be a big brother to him." You know what I mean? We had a lot of influence. We even had Roy Sprouse that played for the Knicks teaching us basketball because he was from our projects. You know what I mean?
Hold on. Did he ever come teach y'all at Eastside High School?
Nah,
because I was at one of them trainers when Rory Sparrow came to Eastside. I mean, I'm from Kennedy, but we came over with Mr. Collins.
I'm talking about growing up with him. Go outside and he outside practicing. You see what I'm saying? I'm talking about going outside my building to the basketball court because he was friends with my mother and father. Moses Mack and Musa.
I learned some defense from Rory, yo. He taught some valuable lessons that day, and I stuck with it all throughout my career and through my street career. I stuck with that defense he showed me. It's to lock people down.
Subject real quick. It's the same subject, but I'm gonna put something in there. I gotta thank these two brothers right here, Educator and Prince, man. We won that championship, man. I gotta thank you.
Sir.
Hey, that championship, man. You know what I'm saying? Always with me, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Educator, we won a championship.
Hey, Prince. Hey, Prince, you remember my mother in the stands? I'm tussling for the ball. My mother told me, "Knock my baby." You know what I mean? I'm not gonna hurt my baby. You know what I mean? That's the type of mother I
We beat school 10. We beat school 10. No cipher, listen. We beat school 10. The breaks off of me and Educator. We were point guards passing. We didn't jock or nothing. Like we had our high socks and all that stuff. And Educator, this is the thing. Educator had the new sneakers on. He didn't wear the sneakers that they gave us with the sneakers.
I very highly appreciative of that, man.
Hey, yo, this is Sonny Black's brother, you said?
Yes, sir.
That is correct.
Okay, that's my dog. I was just on the phone with him a couple of days ago, yo.
Okay.
Me, him, and Tyreek.
Yeah, he probably got a hit out on me, man. So I gotta call him.
Yeah,
I gotta
be
call
quiet.
him.
He mad at me. He mad. He said, "How you get him on the phone?" I said, "I just got him on the phone." And the crazy thing is that one of the cheerleaders is the mother of my youngest daughter, and I've been married to my cheerleader, Deborah Smith, for 15 years. And the crazy thing about it is our connection, Educator, me, like it's just a divine connection. School 20 in the building, and one of the greatest mothers I can see. Her job never stops. I never seen a woman sick and still mothering. Like it's just crazy. She get it from her mama and her daddy. And so I'm thankful for mothers, for sure. We're gonna look to the heated. Like it's never gonna get heated because it seems as if either Boohkadeen just put the water on it before it was gonna go into something. I didn't get emotional because Educator, father and mother was near and dear to me. I learned how to do that, how to smash up and how to cut, right? That's another thing. And Miss Gigi taught me some things where how to be independent, how to work and how to not complain. And even Mr. and Mrs. Thomas, that is no longer amongst the living, taught me that, sometimes you just got to open your door up and be show hospitality. When I went into Sonny Red's house, and I went into his house, and their mother and them knew what we were doing, but still allow the hospitality. I never went to a house where the mother know what we doing, but still cooking me eggs. Because look, you got to get something on your stomach. And she never said why I was downstairs throwing up. Okay.
Yeah.
She never said that. She just cooked me the eggs and stuff like that. And Boohkadeen, man, just knowing, I know you was raised from a good cloth because how you so appreciative of people. You respect, you always bigging up. You're an entrepreneur, the food truck. You want like you always thinking about things to do to be better. We're gonna get into this right here before we close out. And I knew we was not gonna be 30 minutes. I just knew.
Yeah, you already know that, brother. Before we finish, before we close out, I want to give you your props. You know what I mean? I want to give you your props, man, because I'm very proud of you, man. And from being a rapper to an author to a playmaker, you're doing your plays, you're doing, you know what I mean? The next step is the big screen for you. You know what I mean? So, I'm just proud of you the way you went because we divided ourselves in life. We went separate ways, but we always was together. You know what I mean? Right. So when I went to the streets, you was there writing with your pad and pen. Like, listen, man, I'm going to do this rap thing. You do what you doing. You know what I mean? But we never strayed away from each other as being brothers.
Right.
I want to say also, Cree, I've been telling Sharik for years, I'm like, yo, Cree got it. Whatever he need for whatever he want to do, he got it. You understand what I'm saying? Whether it's rapping, producing, whatever you want to do, putting plays on, yo, just know that you got it. And people see you and people hear you. Don't forget that because it's important. You understand what I'm saying? See, I can spot talent 10 miles away. You understand what I'm saying? I got the knack to spot talent 10 miles away. Before LL was LL, I was telling people what he was going to be doing in the future. All kinds of talent that I know about that didn't even blossom before I let people know, when I let people know what happened. And I'm letting you know, you got whatever you need, brother. It is in you. Your voice for rapping, you know how to talk and speak. All of that good stuff. I'm not just making up stuff because we're on your podcast. I've been preaching this for years about you. You can call Sharik and ask him. You understand what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, the guy always up to something, always into something, and always doing something. So peace to the God for your talent and all the stuff that you put forward to make that shit happen. You know what I'm saying?
Let me add on to that. I just talked to you before this, and I told you the same thing. I said, look, I got a lot on my plate. I got a brother out there who all he want to do is lift weights and threaten me. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't on the phone. But I told you, I said, listen, I see what you're doing, Third. I see what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? I see what you're doing. And anything I can do to help further that, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna cut some time out, you know what I'm saying, because I also told you that you can't save it. You ain't gonna be able to save everybody, because there's a few jokers out there in Virginia that should be should be sitting next to you with questions.
I know.
Part of this, you know, but you ain't gonna be able to get. You take a horse to the lake, you can't make them drink water. So a lot of people, you know, you're gonna have to just be like, you know, you do what you do. I'm gonna do what I do. I'm gonna take time out personally to say thank you. I appreciate you. I watch your journey. And you know, and continue to do it, because I think it looks good for you. I'm agreeing with the whole panel here that, you know what I'm saying, you have another one soon. Call me up. I'll make the time. You know,
I still love that. I still love that Living in the Projects joint. The song.
Yeah.
I always love that song, God body. Always.
Thank you, my brother. And this
I still love that song. But Creed, I gotta get going, B.
No doubt,
I gotta get going in about 2 minutes.
No doubt. Thank you, Boohkadeen, for joining us. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me, God body. Anytime you want me on the other side of this camera, you know my number, man. Holla at your boy.
No
and
doubt.
peace to the other guys that's on the screen.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna get your number for free.
All right.
Yeah, I
Yours
thought
as
I sent
well,
you my number. Huh?
Salute.
I thought I sent my number, Creed.
I'll say I'm gonna get your number. Yeah.
Oh, that was you. Okay. Yeah. Get my number, man. Hit me up anytime, man. And anytime, like I said, you want me on the other side of this camera, it's more than my pleasure, God body.
Yes, sir. But we're gonna if Sonny Black involved, he gonna make all. I'm coming down to Virginia soon too, man. So we're gonna make some things happen, brother.
All right.
Hey, listen,
Hey,
if
look.
you're ever in Atlanta, give me a holler. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yes, sir. That's what I need to hear right there. That's why I'm here the Atlanta thing, because I want to start making that journey and have somewhere I could, you know what I'm saying, get a little.
Of course, I'm here.
Was there? Yes, sir.
What's that?
Yes.
Like I said, my son right now, we got a 4-bedroom, man. We only use 2. My son had turned one into a studio, and he do his little clothing line and stuff. So, you know what I mean? I'm gonna need some insight on some things and how to further push him out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. With that being said, I also, not only is the modeling thing, you know, I got going on with kids, but in New York, a lot of that's the industry they're in. I met my wife in the fashion industry.
Yeah.
Right? She's at Prada. She's like head sales at Prada in Manhattan. And
okay,
our background is a lot of young to older designers are in New York.
Okay.
So I hope you. Kriya tell you, my nephew and them are there in Virginia. Tamari and his father, you know, my sister's husband. I got them. I brought them out to New York. They doing fashion shows. They getting offers from Calvin Klein and being offered to fly out to. They just did Louis Vuitton in Virginia, offered to fly out to Paris. So I got a nice little connection in that designer world also. You know what I mean? So I keep.
Me and you gonna connect. Me and you can connect after this. You know what I mean? We're gonna let the brother finish his little thing. But like I said, my son, he's into it heavy. He's a 6-foot Rico Suave, half Puerto Rican, half black. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Joker got it. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
This always leads into something bigger and beyond what we are here for. And this is why the Bros from a Different Planet podcast, when you say different planet, different mother, different, like, so we are bros, like no matter what, it's just about us connecting, and it's about us giving each other some safe space to share some stuff that can uplift us. All right, so before we close out, right, before I get into the sister's perspective, right, y'all don't even have to be here for that, but I want y'all to look into the camera like a politician, right? If you had to say something to the mothers of today, what would you tell them? Educator, I'm gonna go with you first, right? If you had to look into the camera like a politician and tell the mothers of today, right? What advice would you get? I know you're not a mother, so you is like, regardless of what it is, but what you saw from Miss Gigi, not even including your wife, but if you had to tell some of the mothers of today, what would you tell them? Your time.
I would tell them to put your child first. I mean, if you put your child first, everything after that everything is good. If you just have to put your child first. A lot of mothers today want to party. They still want to be young. They still want to shake their behind because they missed out on some things with having kids. But with you having a kid, it brought forth a responsibility for another human being, a responsibility for somebody you have to raise, and you might want to raise them better than yourself. You know what I mean? Just want more for them than you want for yourself. And that's it.
Yeah, I agree.
Wow. All right, listen. Sonny Red, your time. If you had to look into the camera and tell these young mamas today, give them some good advice based on what you saw with your wife, based on what Ms. Thomas installed in you. What is it that you would say to them?
Well, I'm a Libra, man, so I'm gonna try to put a little balance to it. You know what I mean? I will say to continue to strive to be the backbone of the people, because, like, for example, look at this last election. Who stepped up for Kamala Harris? You know what I mean? The women vote was strong. When people thought it wasn't going to be, the women vote is strong, always strong, man. So, continue to be the backbone for the nation, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of this stuff ain't going to move without that, without the women's vote, without the women's nurturing, you know what I'm saying? The earth, they're the earth for a reason, you know what I mean? So, and put the baby first. It is said, you know what I'm saying? The baby is everything, you know what I mean? The man, we're going to have to out of the house more than normal, you know what I mean? I'm ripping and running more than normal, you know what I'm saying? But I'm lucky to have a balance here in my home, but they're going to be everywhere. So, we're going to take people, your mother, and the pressure and all the, the struggle and, the comeback they had, and try to now, because it's easy to fall victim to the social media, the TikTok and this, and you gonna have to scribble that up and become, because we living in a crazy time right now anyway. We're actually living in our parents' time right now. They're trying to take us back to that right now. So if you think that the TikTok video is going to make you survive in this life, you got another thing coming. You're going to have to go back to the roots now. That's how I'm thinking. Educating my wife now. And thank God she open to, like, she's just like, wow. My 13-year-old, she got a lot of questions. So that generation right here may be our parents' generation. That, I know it sounds a little, but that my 13-year-old, my 9-year-old, seeing what they seeing, that's what my parents seen, our parents seen. Somebody trying to segregate us, trying to pull us apart, trying to take all these, things that help the community. They seeing that now, like, oh, this is how a grandma was. This is how grandma's life was. You have to see what he's doing. That's what he's trying to do. So I would tell the mothers now, be a little bit more conscious. Everything ain't free. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to get out there and work. You know what I'm saying? And if your mother's still living, if your grandmother's still living, sit down with them a little bit more. Talk a little bit more. Get that history, because we in it. We feeding the fire right now. It may seem like we on a podcast and we kind of, winging it, explaining things how we came up. But reality is, we in a place now. I don't want to throw names out there. It's a political thing, but we've been put in a place where they're trying to take us back to where our grandmother.
Yeah, of course.
We're fortunate because guess what? We were close. Educator, he done gave you it. He done gave you the jewels. He was close to his mother. I was close to my mother, Cree. You was close to my mother. We came from each other. Mothers raised us, man. Not just our mothers, but now the mothers need to know that. We have 5, 6 mothers, man. We have 5, a handful of mothers. Get our ass whooped all the way home.
My mother made me a better man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My mother made me a better man. We're dealing with the lost tribe right now.
Yeah.
Because these kids are lost. Their perception of life is totally warped. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They don't see, they don't have the from bringing it up from the ground up. They think they're entitled, that they're supposed to have everything given to them right now. They don't have the workforce in you know what I mean?
Educator, I'll say another thing. Yeah, the more fathers need to be there, but like Educator said, his mother, when the father wasn't there, she didn't make excuses. She didn't make excuses. You know what I mean?
Not at all.
She that man and raised that man like the dad was there. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing now. No excuses. If that's your child, you bring that child up and you do as much as you can for that child. So when the streets is happening, that's the problem. Things are going on in the streets and people going, oh, he ain't had no father, he ain't had no father, he ain't had no father. Look at our era, man. There was more fist fights than anything. We can handle that. We can handle that. We can handle that. You can wake up the next day and be like, yo, man, Educator got that off on me. You can wake up with Creed got that on me and live another day. Now, man, they out there, yo. You know, I'm here in the streets and I'm like, wow. But you want to say, Dad, it's a whole. The mother needs to come back. The mother needs to come back to
of course. Big mama.
Let's stop right there. Let's keep it right there, man, because remember I said when I first started this that it may be some resident guests that will pop up on some next episodes and some next topics. And so I'm thinking that my bros that's from a different planet, we can come back and do another topic. I want y'all to stick around, right? Because we want to hear from a sister's perspective with Diva Danielle from the Dynamic Perspective Podcast.
Hello, and good afternoon. It is Mother's Day weekend. Are we ready? It's Diva Danielle. Let's talk about the importance of mothers from a sister's perspective. One thing that I want to encourage everyone to do today is if your mother, grandmother, aunt is still alive, I want you to take that time out to give them their flowers now. Let's celebrate the life now. Let's celebrate the legacy now. Let's celebrate the nurturing and the cultivation now. Because everything that woman has poured into you is from experiences that she may share with you or she may not share with you. But they're experiences that become formulative in your life today. So do not take your mother for granted. Now, not everybody has the greatest relationship with their mother. That's nor here nor there. Because when she's no longer here, you feel that loss. You feel that pain. You have those questions as to why, how come, and what time was missed. So from a sister to another sister, celebrate your mothers, your grandmothers, your aunties, your cousins, those that played a mother figure in your life. Because I knew when I grew up, I had 5 mothers. You had your mother in school, your mother on the block. And trust me, you couldn't do anything without somebody getting into your tail and letting your hind parts know you were out of line. It takes a village to raise our children today. But we need to understand that the mothers carry on not only the nurturing part of it and give us that sustainability for us to move forward, but they also bring great men into the world. Mothers oftentimes have to play the role of 2 positions. And that's not by choice. It's just by what has been destined for them. So we have to also understand you as a man must celebrate the importance of your mother and understanding that you want someone to carry on that legacy of your mother with your children and in your relationships. Because as they say, misery loves company and nobody wants to live in misery. Celebrate your mothers. Give them their flowers now. Understand the importance of what they formulate in your life. Trust me, I wouldn't be the woman I am today without my mother, my aunts, my grandmother, my godmother, all those women that poured into me. And for those that are no longer with me, I give you your prayers every day because you're resting in heaven, because I know that I put on these shoes and I'm walking in them because you walked the stronger and harder path before me. This is the Diva Danielle.
Get on my damn nerves. And I love it. The BDP podcast.